Soon is 1,000 XRP going to equal $1 million? We're going to talk about it. How do we get there? What is the math? But we first need to address some brand new FUD coming to light. Of course, Bitcoin maxis are coming out of the woodworks like cockroaches to FUD XRP because they understand retail now that the case is resolved. There's no stopping these institutions from coming in and supporting XRP. Obviously, if institutions are supporting both Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, that is going to take away from Bitcoin, and that is what they are most afraid of. Let me go ahead and play this for you guys, and then we're going to get into some numbers.
Fortunately, last weekend, once again, asked me what I think of XRP. And
every time
it is hard to to be fair, you look at the chart, I think XRP's gone from like $1 to $3, something like that. I don't really watch what it's done, but some people just look at that. And if that's their number go up, right, and they don't know anything about economics, about how these protocols and networks actually work, they're just going to look at it and be like, yeah, this thing was up, 300%.
Hold up. Please explain to me what institution is using Bitcoin for anything other than a store of value. Seriously? You want to come at us with this doesn't have utility? Please, you guys have backed yourself into a corner now, right? Remember, Bitcoin was the technology of the future. The whole financial system is going to run on Bitcoin. Then it turned into, oh yeah, it's like digital gold, right? Better than gold. It's a store of value. Well, that's where the peak is now for Bitcoin. It's a store of value. What about the banks, financial institutions, stable coins? No. And he doesn't want to admit it because his followers want to hear things positively about Bitcoin, and his followers want to trash XRP because they know that Bitcoin is just, it's a dud, right? Like, it's there, cool, but where's the utility? Who's using Bitcoin to do anything? If you take a look at the statistics on transaction volume on the Bitcoin network, it's freaking nothing.
Well, why would I not buy it? And yeah, you just look at like the past few days or 30-day gains for some of these other crypto tokens, and they are up a lot. Hurley, did you have some line that was like,
my man can't even afford proper internet, so his internet doesn't stall out. Like, he's sitting here shitting on a whole ecosystem filled with millions of incredible people, and he doesn't even know his from square one, right?
Bitcoiners always, we think that we're going to get to this point where we have to stop explaining Bitcoin versus crypto, but it's probably going to be like a lifelong task for us.
Yeah, it's just also tiresome. It just keeps coming back. It keeps coming back
because nobody gives a shit about Bitcoin. It's a store of value, but it's not where the true utility lies. Smart contract functionality, EVM sidechain capability, right? People building the infrastructure. The reason these guys are so frustrated and mad is because they own a lot of Bitcoin, and that is their main bag here, and they've been flooding XRP since the beginning. And seeing XRP going from 30 cents to 330 and seeing Bitcoin kind of doing okay, they get worried, right? What happens when XRP goes to $5 or $10? What do you think these guys are going to say then? Oh, it's just luck, right? Oh, that's what they're going to say. And I'm going to play the video and I'm going to make them look stupid when they do that.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to like what you said. And this is like it's not even just like, it's people, very smart people, obviously, that just have not pondered it or looked at it from like monetary history or money perspective, right? Like I just watched, there was, I think, Natalie Brunell on Fox Business or something, and at the end, the both of the anchors were just like, I just still don't get it. I don't get it. But the number goes up, so it must be. It's like, you know what I mean? She's like, you've been right this whole time, and you got a nice smile. That's what she says to Natalie. But it's like,
oh my God,
I still don't get it, right? And it's like, it's because they're not looking at it from the right lens, right? And I think at the very end, the guy even says, but there's no earnings and there's no. And Natalie's like, well, that's the whole point, right? Like, so I think, and I think people that do, like you say, like buy XRP, or it's like they see that number go up and they're like, or they see the hype. There's a lot of propaganda around XRP and a lot of marketing that they pump out.
Wow.
All over the place. They pay certain, crypto places to put out news about their coin going to be pumping and all this.
Ripple has never, ever contacted me or asked me or paid me to talk about them. I don't think Ripple has paid anybody to talk about them. They don't have to. They go out, they make partnerships, they get things done. They go in and they support the ecosystem. Who's supporting the Bitcoin, ecosystem, right? These guys who can't see past their own BS? Not buying it, man.
It's going to replace, all these payment rails and all that. So
it is.
They see that and they're like, oh, XRP is great too. I'm just going to buy that, instead of looking at it like, what is money? How is Bitcoin better money than gold, right? They don't look at it like that.
There you go.
No, I mean, Joe, I responded to your, like, you sent something about.
See, you see what they do? They only can compare it now to gold, a store of value in digital gold. That's all they have at this point. They are clutching at straws. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Bitcoin's going to do well unless a 3-letter agency comes out and says we created it. Then, nobody would trust it. But like, it's still going to go to 500,000 or $1 million because it's the number one thing. It's a low supply. I get it. But when you're talking about the future of the financial system, if tomorrow we had to move our entire financial system onto blockchain, do you think that would be built on the Bitcoin network? What central bank is using Bitcoin to do anything? Oh, that's right. No central bank, right? Maybe you got El Salvador buying Bitcoin. Cool, guys. Great partnerships, great marketing. You got this.
XRP and Slack. And I was like, I literally just had this conversation with my dad about how someone tried to convince my dad that XRP Ripple is going to go to 5,000 a coin. And then my dad was like, so the market cap, you think the market cap of this is going to be worth more than the total market cap?
See, they don't understand how market cap works, right? They still think it's a 1-to-1. They don't have any idea what's about to happen. And you know what? We're going to come back to this at a later time and I will play this and we could just laugh at them. All right. All right. All right, let's go. So here is 1,000 XRP equaling $1 million. What is that going to look like? Here's Ripple Van Winkle.
People are laughing. When you say 1,000 XRP couldn't change your life, can't change your life. But here's the math. If we look at this, if XRP ever hit $1,000 by 2030, that's 7 figures from a very tiny bag of XRP. Remember this, Bitcoin was once $1. It's now over $100,000 and it's going to 200, 300, 400, 500,000 as well. Anything is possible, especially when adoption hits. That's the key word, adoption. XRP, it's in the middle of the biggest payment revolution that we have ever seen. So yeah, if we get the adoption, if we get the utility, sky's the limit. Are you going to be part of this journey? Check out the YouTube video.
All right, really quickly too, the reason these guys don't bring, let's say, me on their show to talk about Bitcoin to XRP, I made somebody look really stupid. This was maybe like 2 years ago. There was a Bitcoin maximalist invited me onto his live stream so we could debate Bitcoin to XRP. I made him look so silly. He didn't want to invite me back for a second round. He told his audience that he was going to, but he never did because they know, man. They know. Anyways, $1,000 XRP with the current circulating supply, you're talking about a $59 trillion market cap. Obviously, 59 trillion doesn't have to go into XRP, but we're just talking about overall market cap here. You could achieve this market cap if the market cap multiplier is significantly high. If you get a 500x market cap multiplier and you bring in, $500 billion or $1 trillion worth of new inflows, that could very well bring us to a high price. But you also can get there by lowering the circulating supply. And the way that we do that is through staking and different types of DeFi aspects. Now, I would love to see a treasury setup where you're actually taking XRP as the collateral and staking that against the treasury. The hard part about that is XRP does fluctuate in price. So I don't know how they would exactly do that, but that's why they use stable coins for treasuries. But if they can figure out how to, set this up where new XRP is being bought off the open market to provide liquidity for anything inside of the ecosystem, that would obviously help out a bunch. It does look like Bo Hines is stepping down from the White House Crypto Council. A guy named Patrick Witt will succeed him. Bo Hines, he did some stuff. He pushed regulation and helped all that stuff. Great. But where is all of the promises to support American blockchain innovation? Nothing. Where is even the numbers or the information on how much crypto the United States owns? Nothing. Where's the actual plan for the future to buy these assets? No plan. This is what frustrates me about Bo Hines, and he never addresses it. Digital Wealth Partners raised $200 million in XRP for its investments. Here we go. I wanted to show you how much other money has been promised here. Vivo Power International announced it executed a $100 million XRP focused treasury buy with additional funds allocated to be related to digital asset platforms. Trident Digital plans to raise up to $500 million to establish corporate XRP treasuries, aiming to pioneer large-scale treasury adoption. Now, this is something that I do kind of question. Companies want to be in the spotlight, so they're going to come out and say something and they're going to give outlandish numbers. Until I actually see the buying, though, I'm not going to jump up and down and be excited about this, because anybody can promise anything and take it back. I think we've seen that over the last 30, 40 years of being alive. You can listen, you can trust, but you need to verify. Wellgistics Health combined 50 million in XRP allocation. Natural Miracle Holding 20 million for XRP. Weebus International 100 million reserve. Worksport International 5 million reserve. Hyperscale Data 10 million. You see what's happening here. What is this list going to look like in a year or 5 years from now? There's going to be 1,000 companies. There's going to be thousands of banks who all are going to want to create their own crypto treasuries. And do you think they're going to do that all with Bitcoin and Ethereum? Absolutely not. XRP will be the choice of a lot of banks and institutions because they're going to use it anyways. On-demand liquidity, right? Or stablecoins, building a stablecoin on the XRP ledger. It can be interoperable with any other asset on the ledger. Are you kidding me? Of course you're going to want to do that. And this is the utility that these guys don't want to admit that XRP has. XRP is the greatest bridge asset in the world today. XRP is the most used digital asset for cross-border payments outside of like Tether or something like that, or Circle, right? XRP has all the utility it needs. Ripple is going to keep building, keeping supporting, and we are going to be there to see this thing through, and we are going to reap the benefits. Ripple's DeFi dark horse, the Defiant XRP ledger soars. Real world asset tokenized explodes 10x to 176 million. DeFi TVL up 70%. Ripple wins the legal battle. Just to give you some additional context here, ladies and gentlemen, this has been exploding in 2025. The introduction of the EVM sidechain, the Axelar bridge, that is going to be tremendous. We have new developers, new infrastructure, new lending and borrowing, new DeFi, new who even knows what's coming, right? There's so many cool utilities that are being developed right now. I just interviewed Strobe Finance yesterday in my live stream. That was really interesting. They're going to be able to offer you an ability to use your XRP to get a loan, to buy more XRP if that's something that you're interested in. Obviously, talk with a financial advisor to see if that fits what you're trying to do, and always read the fine print. You don't want to get liquidated, so just be very careful. But that was a great interview. Go take a look. Real world asset tokenization. XRPL's tokenized real world asset value soared from 18 million in the end of 2024, passing 108 million in early August. July saw monthly growth of nearly 35%, with the Mikado Bitcoin partnership set to bring in another 200 million in tokenized assets to the XRP ledger. Key partnerships here: Ondo Finance, Dubai Land Department covers U.S. Treasuries and real estate, positioning XRP as the backbone of the institutional grade asset and tokenization. This is also something that these guys don't want to miss. Remind me, who is tokenizing value on the Bitcoin network? Ooh, nobody, right? That is not something that people are like, hey, let's go build this on Bitcoin. No, they're thinking like, hey, HBAR, XLM, XRP, that's going to be where the real utility lies. Chainlink, right? Oracles, interoperability of information, that is going to be key. Bitcoin, cool, store of value. You guys win. Man, these guys just give me freaking. All right. DeFi TVL surge, total value locked. XRPL soared 20 million to 100 million in 8 months, up 400%, right? This growth is phenomenal. When we're going to get to 500 mil, we're going to get to a billion, we're going to get to 10, 20, 50, 100 billion before you know it. DeFi platforms, I don't know anything about DXRP. Over 1,800 active AMM pools, support 17,000 token types, and notable expansion in DEX infrastructure. This is also something that they don't want to admit to you, right? So many cool things are happening. Axelar is one of the keys here. AXL, if you're looking to buy them, their token. Most stablecoins today follow the custodial model: fiat deposits, mint, and redemption. Simple, liquid, and well understood. Every step brings design, compliance, trade-offs issuers must plan for. Remember, they actually wrote out a whole entire playbook. If you're an institution looking to set up a stablecoin in your country, they have a document here. Listen to this document. The 4 dominant issuance models: fiat-backed, crypto collaterals, hybrid, and tokenized deposits. Regulatory frameworks for the US, the EU, the UK, Singapore, and Japan. Technical infrastructure for secure minting, compliance, and multi-chain reach. Revenue strategies and risk considerations for each model, and how Axelar enables cross-chain distribution at scale, reducing complexity and time to market. We know what we hold, right? This is always going to be a long shot with adoption of crypto assets, right? You need countries to pass regulation. You need people to come in. You need banks to start using this. We are finally starting to see that after so many years of being live, right? XRP Ledger, 2013. We were about to be in 2026 in 5 months. This is a 13-year process, but it's finally coming to a head. The only question you got to ask yourself is, do you want to be a part of it? All right, that was my best effort. Have a great day, guys. If you made it to the end, please let me know. Please share the video with somebody that you think could get value from this content. And if you want to join my community, Cryptonaires, guys, we are killing it right now. Link down in the description. There's some special pricing right now, only $50 a month. That won't stay for very long. As we get more busy, we'll raise that up to $100 per month. So if you want to lock in that key rate, now's the time to do it. Link in the description. See you guys. Have a good week ahead. I have just built a course for beginners, intermediaries, and experts of XRP to better understand the XRP ledger and Ripple, the company. If you're interested in getting that course absolutely free, there's a link down in the description. Please let me know what you think after you've taken the course. Aloha.